All right, hello everyone. This video is going to give a quick introduction on how to get started using Canva. We're going to go ahead and try to create our menus using Canva, pick a template, and add different elements to your design. So in order to get started here, we actually have to head up to the search bar. So click into the search bar and you are going to search for menu. And when you search that, there's going to be lots and lots of different kind of more specific options, but we actually just wanted to choose the general option of menu that's going to create an 8.5 by 11-inch design, which is the size of a normal piece of paper. So you can go ahead and click menu. And when you do that, it's going to bring up a ton of different options. So one option you have is to choose from a template. So there are probably thousands, actually definitely thousands. There's over 1,800 different templates here, but unfortunately not all of them are free. So you want to make sure when you're searching for templates that some of them are going to say free down here at the bottom. You want to choose a free option. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to download it without paying for it, which we absolutely don't want you to pay for this. So the free options are great. There are lots of them. So you shouldn't have a problem choosing a free option. Like this one's free, but if we head over here to the couch potatoes choice, that one says paid. So before you click on any of these templates, you want to make sure that they say free and they don't have this little money icon down in the right-hand corner. So as you're scrolling, you should be able to see, even without hovering over them, which ones have this little $sign icon down in the right-hand corner. Those are going to be your paid options. Anything else is free. So you can see about half of these are free. So you have lots and lots of options here. What I would like you also to do is just kind of scroll and get some ideas, right? See which ones that you're drawn to, which ones that you think look good, that you would want to use for your food truck. So some of these are not going to be menus necessarily, right? Like you can see this one's a meal planner, so that's not something you're going to need. But let's say like I like the design of this one over here, right? I like the little sugar skulls. It's free. Maybe that's one that I'll kind of keep in the back of my mind. Your second option here, if we scroll back up to the top, is just going to be to create a blank menu. Okay, so you can actually open this up, create a blank menu, and it's just going to give you a plain old white sheet of paper to work off of. That is a great option just because you'll be able to kind of really customize it. But even with these templates, you're going to be able to change the colors, change the background, do pretty much anything you want to change up these options. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down here. I saw one that I liked earlier. All right, so here you can see that we're in this editor screen, and we just are going to run over a couple kind of tips and tricks to get started. Really, Canva just takes quite a bit of playing around, whether it's adding elements, changing colors. You're going to kind of get a feel for it as you go, but here's a couple of good things to get started with. So first up on the list is, obviously, we can see that this is pretty small here. It's kind of hard to read. So if you go down to the bottom right-hand corner here, if you click the number, it'll say zoom. We're going to zoom in a little bit. So right now we're only at 29%, which is great to see a final product. So if you want to get a sense of what this is going to look like overall, maybe you can zoom out to the fit setting. But we can see here, right, we're currently on the fit setting. In order to edit, it's going to work a little bit better if we click fill. So if you go ahead and click that, you're going to see that it zooms quite a bit into the screen so that you can easily edit text, add things, kind of fine tune some of the elements that you add. So next up on the list is deleting elements. So the next thing I would recommend that you do is just kind of get more of a blank slate going. So obviously, like my example, this isn't super kind of conducive with my design. So if you click on any element, right, so if I click on these sprinkles, these kind of like little confetti things up here, and I just hit delete on my keyboard, they will go away. Okay, so that is a kind of a good idea, but obviously you don't want just words on here. So let's go ahead and add an image. So if I move my mouse over to the right-hand side, or sorry, the left-hand side of the screen here, and I click on elements, I get all sorts of cool stuff that I can add. So there are some that are animated. I recommend that you kind of get away from those because remember that this is going to be a print menu. So you don't want anything that's going to move because that obviously won't kind of show up when you print out the design. So we've worked a little bit so far on the themes that you're going to be using for your food truck. So if you want to work within that theme, I recommend that you just kind of come up with maybe a color palette, maybe you did in your vision board already, or some kind of general themed images that might contribute to your overall food truck's theme. So my example project was a Cajun food truck. So I'm going to go ahead and search maybe a gator, right? I'll search an alligator. We'll see what we come up with here. So in this left-hand side of the screen, this sidebar here, you're going to see that some of these elements are premium features. So anything that says pro here, you have to pay for again. So we're going to avoid all of those images and we're going to select from the free images. There are tons and tons of free images on Canva. They're really, really great. So there should be plenty of options for you to choose from. As you can see, I'm like still scrolling through alligators here. So let's head up back to the top of the screen here and we'll pick one of our free guys. To get the image on, all you have to do is click, drag, and it will go ahead and show up on this screen here. So I'll put my alligator up here for now. As you go ahead and continue to edit, you can continue to add images. There are other things in these images, like you can search lines and it'll come up with all sorts of little designs and lines and arrows and things like that. So if that's something you're interested in adding, there are tons and tons of free ones, right? You can see that there's leaves and little other things for emphasis. There are flowers, like that's pretty cool. Maybe I'll add that back here. And you can add these to your design. Okay, so obviously this is not very organized right now, but just kind of showing you where things are. So we went over adding and deleting elements. Now let's kind of try to change some colors. The color palette is changeable, and there's a really nice thing that Canva does is it kind of curates your document colors, right? These are the colors that are included currently in my document. So you can see it's usually like blues and reds and yellows. But if I wanted to change the general background color, right? Like let's say I was not a fan of this red or this kind of like peachy color, I wanted to change that, I can go ahead and choose from these default colors, or you can actually choose a new color off of kind of a color spectrum. I can choose this new color option and I can click and drag and it'll actually adjust it on the screen, right? So I can kind of test it out, right? Moving it darker, lighter. So let's say I like that like pinkish color. Maybe I want a little more orange. I can drag this and it'll create those new color palettes, which is pretty cool. Okay, so let's say I like that orange color there. Yeah, I want to make it darker so I can see my text. And then it'll add it to your color palette automatically. So that's a pretty nice feature on Canva. If the same thing goes if you want to change the color for the text. So the text, right, you can choose up here. This is the text color feature. So you can change the color on palette or you can choose one of the default colors. And that is how you do that. All right, everybody. And just to kind of wrap up here, here is a finished product example. So this is off of my example food truck, which is called Kick and Crawdad Cajun Seafood and Barbecue. You can see that by putting the title and this image up at the top, right, I really draw attention there to see that this is my food truck. This is my theme, make that pretty clear. Let's zoom in. We'll look at some of the menu items. So I sorted my menu items into 3 categories. With a food truck, like some of our people in business and culinary said, right, from what you heard from the Career Advice with a Pro series video with Chef, he said, keep it simple. Right, do a couple things really well. So in my food truck, I chose to do what's something called a po' boy sandwich. So that's a kind of Southern style hoagie. So I have sandwich options there. I do gumbo soups and more. So there's 2 options there, right? I also put prices for a sandwich versus if you're getting a meal. What's a meal, right? It comes with fries and cornbread. And then down at the bottom, I have my fries, my cornbread, if they want to be bought individually, or I have my sweet tea here. So you can buy a drink at my food truck. Okay, so those are some simple menu items. They go into those 3 distinct categories. You can see like my color scheme is reflected here, right? I kept the colors really simple, reds, yellows, black. And then you can see that all of my items are listed in white to make them kind of pop. So this is just an example for you to use as you go ahead to complete your project. The PDF version of this menu is going to be posted as well if you want to take a look at it in more depth. Please let your teacher know if you have any questions, and good luck creating your menu.